Page 13, American Fiddle Tune. Actually, it's also known as Turkey in the Straw. That's its more common name. Fiddle tune doesn't say a whole lot because there's a lot of fiddle tunes, but Turkey in the Straw, there's only one of those that I know of. Let's look it over. It's 4 lines long, treble and bass clef. We are in the key of F major, even though it doesn't show that in the key signature, because this book won't show you key signatures. But all the B's are flat. In F major has a B flat in it. So all the B's are flat. If you look through the piece on all the B's, you're going to find a flat sign in front of them. I'm going to kind of take this both hands at the same time, because for most of the time it's one hand or the other playing. And that shortens the video a little bit. So at the beginning, the right hand starts here in F position, and the left hand is here in F position. And it says 1, 2, 3, 4 in this font, okay? At the end of the line, 4 and 1. So the measure 5 is it's the C, it's the F chord or the 1 chord in the F. So and then here, don't forget the B flat. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then you have here together for the 5/7 chord. I'm not using all the notes in it. We don't have to. It's fine. You do that some more. You put the hands together. You can do that, I'm sure. And when you're comfortable with it, get rid of the hesitations and we think about the articulation. We have accents at the beginning. We can play them a little louder and separate them slightly. And then you have staccatos. I'm hinging at the wrist. I'm short. Accent. And then connect. There. You get the idea with the articulation. And then the dynamics. Well, it's loud. The accent takes it up a notch. I don't know about loud. In my mind, moderately loud is good enough, because if it's loud with an accent, that makes it very loud. I don't know that you got to get very loud on this piece. So just... And then third measure, there's staccato, no accent, so you're not as loud now. That accent. And now you're moderately soft, and that's the melody. These chords got to be soft. They're in the background. See, and measure 8. I want to hear that. These, soft. And then on measure 11, you have a hairpin to get back up. You're starting measure 11 at moderately soft. And then get a little louder, louder. Now you're moderately loud. In my mind, you're moderately loud on the A at measure 12. You're moderately loud there. They don't always put these dynamic markings and these hairpins exactly where they go. You may have to adjust to the music. And to me, that's it. That's where I'm going to be. So I'll be moderately loud there. And that's for the right hand. These are soft. And now the bottom line is similar to the top. Then the speed, well, it has to be accurate. So how fast can you do these eighth notes accurately and under control? This is a fairly quick piece. It says with energy, but it's a fairly fast piece. It's a fairly fast piece. It's a happy piece. Now they've added pedal. Oh, let's talk about this a little bit. You don't need pedal on this. You do it fine, and you can separate these accented notes better, because a pedal would connect them all. I like accented notes just slightly separated. That's a personal thing. It's an interpretive thing. We're getting into interpreting the music. The dynamics given and the articulation and all that, the pedaling, that's all part of interpreting the music. They're telling you, to a point, how to interpret the music. They're telling you that. In a piece like this, they're all suggestions. You learn it the way it's written first, and then if you want to change stuff, feel free. Now, if it were a classical piece, a classical piano piece, the way it was written, you don't go changing stuff. You play it the way the composer intended. But this is an arrangement, so go for it. Have fun with it. But the pedaling is, again, part of the interpretation. That's the interpretation they're suggesting. Well, if I pedal it the way they're showing, they're only pedaling at the beginning, the introduction part, because the tune starts at the end of the line. That's where the tune starts. All that in front is the introduction. Well, the same thing at the end. The last line, that's a coda. It's like a tag on the end. The piece actually ended at the end of the third line. Here. That's it. And then they added this coda on. They want you to pedal the part of the introduction and part of the tag. Well, because it's loud, this time I can kind of explode it. So this time I want to release the overtones immediately. So I'm going to push the pedal down with the note here, not after. And on the third measure, I'm going to lift the pedal as I play that staccato. So again. And then it's the same thing at the bottom. So if you want to use pedal, go ahead. If you don't want to use pedal, I think that's great too. It's fine without it. It's up to you. So it's like this. That's one way of playing it. You don't have to play it that fast. You can play it slower. You make it yours. You do your thing with it. Now, I haven't been talking about it too much because there's so much to talk about. But remember the natural accents. They're important. In 4/4 time, you get a natural accent on the first beat of a measure. Well, you do that on any time signature. But you also get another one on the third beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You feel these. Well, at the beginning, they're built in for you. Half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3. But the idea is to here. That go to here. Go to here. You want to feel that. You want to feel these natural accents. Helps to dance to the music because you can feel them better when you're dancing. But that's the idea. Make sure you're feeling these natural accents. When you're first learning a piece, you're struggling with notes and rhythms, you don't have time for natural accents. You're just trying to get that. But once you got a handle on that stuff, you start getting in the music, it's important to feel the natural accents. Again, that's part of interpreting the piece. Now, there is a note at the bottom asking, can you transpose this to C major? Well, that's interesting. Really what you're doing, because you're in a hand as a pentascale, you just stay in this pentascale for the key you're in and use the same fingers. So in C major would be down here, I guess. And we're just using, if we're using 1 and 5, you just play the whole thing using the same fingers you're using here, but you're in the C position. You're in the C pentascale. I don't really like that kind of transposing because now you're reading finger numbers, and I don't want you to read finger numbers, I want you to read the notes. But that's a way to transpose. Let's play this together very slowly and double check that you have the right notes and rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'll go ahead and pedal it like they suggested. I'll give us 4 counts and let's try it. I will do the staccatos and stuff. 1, 2, and ready, and go, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 3, and 4, and 1, 1, and 2, and 3, and 2, and 3, and. And 3, and 3, and. And and 3 and rest, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest.